You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete. Intelligence System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You're listening to episode 75 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of The Division. And it's been a quiet week for The Division as we prepare for PTS Round 2 as we head towards Update 1.8. But first, my name's Mike, and joining me as always are my co-hosts, Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hello.
And I hope you're both very well this week, and our listeners have had a great week as well. Just a reminder to all the agents that the next global event will be Assault, and that will be starting this coming October 3rd, which is this Tuesday. There were some cool new masks coming, I'm pretty sure. Luke, you were checking out one of them, weren't you?
Yeah, there's the hockey mask. There's
Jason?
the piggy mask. And I can't remember what the third one is. It's
Smiley
completely
face.
gone out of my head. Thank you.
It's the clown, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you got Jigsaw, It, and Jason.
Jason.
Cool. And they have been changed. They are tied to the leaderboards now, so you don't have to get into the top percentage of the leaderboards. You just have to... No, they're not tied to the leaderboards. Sorry, they're tied to commendations. Apologies.
Duh.
Great change. What else? And announced on the State of the Game today, there will be a few special events coming in October and in the future. So,
Spooky events, yeah?
yeah, we'll have to see whether they'll just be like,
Or fancy dress events.
I'm hoping so. Maybe I'll get that sweet Donnie Darko costume I can use. But we'll have to see. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for that one over the next couple of weeks. And before we head into news, all three of us, aka Team SITREP, will be making a guest appearance over on the Destiny in Orbit podcast, run by the guys over there. So that should be going out either this week or next week, hopefully, if everything goes well. That being the case, let's get on with some news.
State of the game.
So, Robert, PTS, aka Update 1.8, what are your thoughts so far? Because I know you and myself actually managed to jump onto PC this week, didn't we? And try a little bit of it. Not huge amount, just have a quick look round. I don't know if you tried much more.
I literally only played it for like an hour. I think I put on a Nomad set and then I went and explored? Good English. Explored the new area. Went to the Camp Hudson and then experienced the new AI spawning, which was really quite good, I think. Picked up one of the new exotics, the SMG. Had to play with that. That was really good. But like I said, I didn't really do much. I did some like stuff with the optimization station as well. But I think we're going to talk about that in a bit, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, because I managed to join you on PC. I didn't even have a level 30 character, so that was lucky. I just created a new character that was completely randomized by the looks of it. Didn't have that much fun, so I didn't manage to get like an optimized build, but I ran Firecrest, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later. And trying to think what else. The new area is really cool. Really like it. Seems like there's a lot more to it than we actually saw, and obviously it's PTS at the minute, but it kind of felt like you were a little bit OP, and I kind of liked it. Sue me. Anyway, that being the case, we do have some news on the next phase of PTS, aka Phase 2, Luke.
Yes, it's going to start on PC next week. Console PTS not live yet, won't be live next week either. It will be live the week after the next global event is finished, which is week starting the 9th of October. So we'll probably go live, what's that, Tuesday the 10th of October, I think?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. There's no end date either for the PTS currently.
Which is good, yeah. I don't think they should give an end date for a PTS. It's there to be tested, isn't it? So if something's broken, just keep it open indefinitely.
So that being the case, that it would have been approximately running for about 3 weeks at that point. So therefore, killing my original theory of 3 weeks, because I reckon this is going to run a lot, potentially 6 weeks, because I think they might have a 1 or 2 week gap in between the first console release of the PTS, and then drop. We might get like the final, not a literal final, but we might get like a second iteration, because we had that happen on 1.7. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. There was definitely 2 console iterations for 1.7, wasn't there? PETA did confirm that the console PTS, when it does launch, will launch as PTS Phase 2, which to me sounds that they're going to keep PC Phase 2 open for 2 weeks as well, because obviously a week of that crosses over with the global event, doesn't it? So it will give players on PC chance to grind the global event as well as test on the PTS, which is just a good idea, since the PTS phases overlap with the global event, which was a bit of a balls up, wasn't it? So
yeah, and one thing to keep an eye out for as well is I'm not saying they have moved it, but it's kind of lined up quite nicely that there is no PTS on console next week. It will be the following week. So everybody seemed to be really worried that the PTS and the actual global event was going to overlap and nobody would play the global event or the PTS. I'm not quite sure which side people are worried about that, but you don't have to worry anymore. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So with Phase 2 launching on PC, Resistance and Underground will both be made active. They're going to launch various changes that they've done to the classified sets that are on the PTS. There's going to be some more fine-tuning done to the new movement system. Various other tweaks and changes, including the LMG Big Alejandro exotic, that's getting rebalanced, isn't it? Because that's... I don't know if you fired that on the PTS, Rob, but it looks OP on people's streams.
No, because you can buy the exotics for like 1,300 Phoenix credits. I didn't have enough. I couldn't buy them. Boo.
Well, this is going to go into my very quick point. We are getting a cache, as Petter called it on State of the Game, that will be containing div tech. So you'll be able to open div tech boxes technically to your heart's content. My only problem with that is the freaking name. Just call it a div tech cache. Yeah, it's a cache. It contains all currency, not just freaking div tech. Because I tweeted out to Pat earlier, and he said no, it's just div tech. So I started a fresh character on PC. I'm not going to be able to get like max rolls, change talents, or anything like that because I don't have enough Phoenix credits.
I'm pretty sure they said that they were going to give everyone max D-Tech on the State of the Game. Someone said it. I remember them saying it.
They definitely said it, yeah.
Yeah,
but
they did.
They didn't. So, like, I only had like 1,000 div tech, and I was trying to optimize stuff, and I just couldn't because I ran out. Because
it's 50 D tech per roll, isn't it? At the moment.
Yes, but it doesn't. Yes, but it takes quite a few rolls to maximize something. So if you want something god roll, you just have to keep going and going and going and going.
Right.
Sometimes it can cost like 200 to like 500 div tech.
So it doesn't go up per roll then, it stays at 50, but you have to roll multiple times.
Yeah, it doesn't, you don't just press 50 and then it's maximizes everything. It does like a little bit, it does it in steps.
Increments.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you also need funds to go with that, which is my problem with the PTS at the minute, is the fact that you need not only div tech, but I'm pretty sure you need Phoenix credits as well. Was it, Rob, or was it just general funds?
I think it was just normal credits. Yeah, it's like 250,000, I think.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people calling for Phoenix credits to be included, but that's not yet.
It would make sense. Anyway, that also being the case, we do have some known issues that have been posted over on the official Division forums. Just a quick mention to anybody that is PTS testing or is interested in checking it out when it's released on console. Please make sure you go check out the list or any bugs that have already been reported and aren't ranting and raving about the same ones for a week. Thank you. But that being the case, Robert, as of today, we've got some unknown, well, not unknown, because they're known, because they've been posted about. issues. I'll tell you backwards today, sorry.
Dude, you're on fire tonight.
I know.
Amazing. Yeah, the known issues. No healing while ADSing, which is a bug. They've mentioned that on State of the Game. They definitely know it's a bug. It's not meant to be there.
It's definitely a bug?
Yep. They need to squat that bug. In the future, you will be able to heal while you are firing a weapon, but yeah, I've just read that, haven't I? But yeah, I've just read that. Skirmish rewards and XP can be exploited endlessly if the player is blocking the controller to rotate continuously in any match.
That just sounds ridiculous. I left that in
Is that
there
like
because...
the whole rubber band thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Who does that? Who does that? It's just chunts.
People that play Skyrim, from what I've heard.
hey, that was a legit method of doing that on Skyrim. Shush.
Disagree.
The UI for upgrading fortifications for resistance is present in Last Stand. Okay.
Best.
Final measures set bonuses adds directly 20% onto the damage mitigation value.
So it's not OP at all.
Manhunt sealed cache can be farmed by attaching items for other players to hijack, thus ranking up until they reach rank Manhunt level 5.
Just looking at Luke's face, it's like, what the fuck?
What?
I read that. I don't understand that. Oh well.
Manhunt sealed caches can be formed by attaching items for other players to hijack, thus ranking up.
Well,
That doesn't make any sense.
You have two groups in the freaking game, and one sticks items on the thing, and then they hijack, and then they get to level 5. Cut the rope.
Another bug they didn't mention is the fact that they've reworked Hunter's Faith, but they haven't adjusted the UI, so the blurb still says the same thing that it said in 1.7.1.
What, this gear set's terrible?
No, from what I've seen, Wid's put up a video today explaining what it actually does, and I kind of want to go back on the PTS and play around with it.
Well, that being the case, Rob, what does it do?
Oh no, you've put me on the spot.
Oh.
The 4-piece is not what it used to be. If you hit an enemy, you get like it increases your damage. I think you have to get a headshot. I'm pretty sure if you get a headshot, it increases your damage by, I think it was 40%, and then that stacks up to 100%. And I can't remember what the 6-piece does. It basically buffs that as well.
Yeah, and 2 consecutive missed shots needed to lose the bonus damage. So
yeah,
that's quite cool. So if you're terrible with sniper rifles,
so they've made it a PC gear set then.
But
ain't nobody on console hitting that many headshots.
the damage buff is affected by a lot of things. So it's affected by rate of fire as well. So it's kind of geared towards bolt action, because obviously that they have no rate of fire because it's one bullet at a time.
Oh, this is why you were saying it's now the Hamish Faith gear set rather than Hunter's Faith, wasn't it, last week?
Mm.
Yeah. Good old Hamish.
Rob, you had fun with the particular... Didn't you run Nomad this week?
Yeah. Apparently it's bugged.
How was it?
Yeah, it's good. You literally just stand there and you get an overhill. Like literally within 10 seconds you got a full overhill.
So is that bugged or is that working as intended?
That's working as intended.
Oh.
I think I don't know which bit is bugged, but I read on Reddit today that it's bugged.
Nice. I had a chance to use the Firecrest this week, and it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
As somebody said on Twitter, Dracarys. It is literally it's a flamethrower, dude. It might as well be the flamethrower that you've been shouting about since 1.3.
It was yeah. The range on it is insane. That's going to be like half a skirmish match, like half the map.
If anybody saw like Sage's post on Twitter, it was what was it, twice or 3 times bigger than a frickin' med bag that you can pop down support station. Like the actual range on that thing, it was like fucking hell. But I put some pictures up on Twitter, and it was just fuck. I like at one point I put it on one side, and all my screen was full of flames. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I know it's OP as fuck, but I fucking love the fact that I've just got flames across the whole of my screen right now. But yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, obviously, what was it? I think the 5-piece gives you increased 50. It sounds absolutely freaking mental. So you get 15% turret range. I think it's a bit further than that. 10%.
Sorry, I was just going to say my thought on that range is that it's multiplicative, so that it's 15% on top of the whatever percent you already get, because there's no way that's just an extra 15% from the screenshots I've seen. It's ridiculous. Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. But the bullets themselves because Firecrest's damage, it has increased damage anyway to people under fire effects. So the 6-piece now has a 5% chance to cause an enemy to burn. However, the burning targets can also cause an explosion. I don't know if you were with me, Rob, at any point when I was using this gear set, and it exploded when I was shooting NPCs. But like, if you're not careful, you can actually be set on fire, like by the exploding NPC.
Wow,
it's kind of cool.
And NPCs set on fire by a flame will burn 25% longer for every 2,000 electronics you've got. Does it? I guess they're being specific on NPCs there, so it's just not going to work for PvP.
PvP. And Luke, you had some thoughts on Banshee last week when this went live, didn't you, dude?
Yeah. my thoughts are still the same, really. Seems ridiculously OP. But I can't remember whose video I watched this week. I think it was probably Marco Style who was saying he thinks all the gear sets are OP, but specifically OP, which I kind of agree with him on when you sit back and think about it. Like, Firecrest is OP for PvE. Hunter's Faith is obviously OP for bolt action sniper rifles. Banshee is OP as fuck if you're hunting manhunts, which, you know, going rogue in the DZ now in 1.8 is going to be, well, I think Marco Starr said it himself, you've got to be in a team now. You can't be doing fucking rogue shit on your own anymore. It's just going to be game over. So
fuck yes. I'm going to say that now. Fuck yes, because that's what I want. It's the threat of going rogue. And if it creates that, it puts everybody on edge. And I know not everyone agrees, but I kind of like that, even if I'm not a huge DZ player at the minute.
I think the problem with that, I agree with you, that it will get rid of somebody walking up behind you as a solo player and just ganking you and then running off as rogue, because everybody will be after them. I think the problem it will cause is, you know, the chicken dance where you've got 20 people in a server all stood in a circle, everybody waiting to go rogue. It's just going to make it even more dangerous to go rogue, because now there's obviously, with the toggle on, toggle off of friendly fire, it will literally be 16 people shooting at you or 20 people shooting at you, rather than the chance of them even shooting each other. But yeah, whatever. I haven't tried it on the PTS yet, so I'll reserve full judgment until I have done.
Yeah, I think that's something I think we should all try and get together on, is go in the DZ and go try out Rogue 2.0 when it comes to console.
Yeah, for sure.
If we can. But yeah, I mean, you were saying Banshee was just like kicking out some insane damage, if I remember right.
If you get everything stacked at once, it's 60% extra damage against rogues. Against manhunts before your weapon talents kick in. So if you've got competent and responsive on there as well, what's that, another 25% over the two? That's like 85% extra damage. Nobody surviving that.
No. But like, I can understand first week of the PTS. We're going to see some OP stuff. And to be honest, has anything really been broke this week? Like, considerably broke. Sorry. Another word I can't say, apparently.
You mean apart from your speech pattern?
Yes. It's terrible this week.
But Well, I don't think it's. I think this is intentional. I think that's what they do. The first week of the PTS, they stick everything on max, so they can just kind of see where the limit is and then rein it in. Do you know what I mean? I guarantee the next phase, a lot of this will be tweaked down, maybe to the minimum, and then they'll go find a happy medium in the middle.
Yeah, you saying that? How many times have we seen like weapons go from like one to another, and then like they'll find like a medium? It's like it'll be a second or third week. People are like, oh my god, they've killed like MP5s and they're absolutely dead now. Oh wait, they're back. Oh, but that's news for a week, so let's not complain about that.
What did you think to the house when you were firing it, Rob? Does it seem okay? Does it seem OP?
It's very stable, but then, yeah, it's very, very stable, and I like the perk that's on it because it's like extra. It's like a perk from Destiny, glass half full, but it kind of flips about a bit, which is kind of interesting.
Mm.
Yeah. Just to preface, there are no 6-piece talents announced for what was it, Tactician and Alpha Bridge. They're being kept shush. Defense gear, it sounds pretty cool, but it still needs to be tested. And Predator's Mark gear set 6-piece sounds pretty cool and is pretty badass, but we'll have to see. But yeah, the house, it's actually an exotic submachine gun, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, it's the only one that I got. I got it from a cache.
Luke,
what?
Oh, sorry, I thought you.
No,
but yeah, everybody's been using the big Alejandro on most of the streams. I picked up a Devil marksman rifle. Haven't had a chance to use it yet. Didn't have that many mods. I think most of my mods were towards like crit hit damage and chance, but it wasn't anything to do with like headshot damage or anything like that. So I didn't have great mods. And Heal, which is another marksman rifle, which is used in conjunction with the Devil. So
yeah, it's basically like putting those two together is like having an Alpha Bridge sniper set in my eyes, but you can run it with any set.
That is right. Some pretty cool changes as well. Crit hit chance has been reduced by 50% when you're not aiming down the sight.
Nice.
That is an awesome change.
That is an awesome change. So that will affect anyone that's just hip firing, which we'll talk about in a minute. Obviously, something they did with the PTS is they've changed how weapon damage actually works. It's multiplicative. Fucking hell, I can't talk today. It multiplies instead of additive. Therefore, it was causing issues with LMGs, especially because the rate of fire on those things and the damage, they were a little bit OP. Everybody was using LMGs, I'm pretty sure, on stream, from what I've seen in skirmish. So they've been decreased, and the M4, the M5, and the MP7 have had their damage decreased. Not too sure on that, to be honest, but they are the most used weapons in the game at the minute.
I was just going to ask you what an M5 is.
I don't know.
MG5.
MP5, I would have said.
You sure it's not MG5?
No, it's the MP5.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's the M family.
Lightweight M4s, Lavoas, MP5s, and MP7s have all been tweaked by around about 3.5% to 5%, I think, from what I saw on you got to admit, they are like the most used weapons in the game. Yeah. My only issue is decreasing the MP7 when they've only just buffed it back up to being useful. But you know, if you're gonna wipe the slate of all the high RPM weapons, then obviously that needs to be included.
Yeah, that does kind of make sense if you think about it, I guess. Because the rate that thing fires at compared to like an M4, then that obviously needs the damage decreasing.
Yeah.
Talents that have changed. Obviously, we spoke about Adept before. It does only give you a single stack opposed to a 5-stack previously. However, it will be refreshed if another skill is popped whilst it is active. So it will not stack multiple times now. Hipfire. Rob, we talked about Hipfire, didn't we, dude? We even played it. Yeah, we tried Hipfire on PTS on PC.
Yeah, I did. I think the crit hit chance is gonna help. Like reducing that's gonna help as well. But it's definitely noticeable. Like I stood up against a wall and did like a spread, aiming down sight, and then I did hip fire it, and it just whacks you everywhere. Like the spread is huge.
I quite like the hit marker as well. It's like this weird. It's just all over the place. It really is all over the place. You're about like a bit more. Was it screen suppression or something like that when we were talking about it? It was like when it was happening, it was like more. You had like a kind of a screen.
Yeah, it was like a stagger effect. Yeah.
Yeah, stagger effect. I can't remember what you called it, but it'd be kind of cool if we had a little bit more of that. But the fact is that they've reduced, like, obviously the crit hit chance by 50%, so you're going to be doing less damage anyway. So all these people doing hip fire until obviously they find a build to do it. Hip fire feels pretty good at the minute. Whether it's the be or end all, I don't know. But I'll be interested to see how it works on console because it's going to be even worse. Because we were playing on PC and you can kind of control it.
It wasn't. No, I don't think you could. It's not really a controllable thing. It just. I mean, if you get real close to an enemy, then you're still going to hit them. But if you're like 10 meters away, you're going to miss half your bullets at least.
Yeah. When you're doing the chicken, I know something they're trying to do. Obviously, is get rid of the chicken dance, and obviously with the movement, the healing, not being able to heal while shooting, the reduced crit hit chance by 50%. And the hip fire, if you think about it, those things are quite effective, and they didn't really. Some of those things they didn't even state on, when they talk about Rogue 2.0, but they are all going to affect that, in the whole PvP meta. So I think it's a really cool change, to be honest. Luke, I mean, what do you think? I know you haven't had. Have you seen any of the hip fire at the minute?
No, I haven't.
I'm quite interested for you to see that, to be honest, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely test that out. I'm kind of itching to get hold of the PTS, actually, just to test some of these things out, just so I can give a proper opinion on it. It's all right me sat here saying, oh, Banshee looks OP, rah, rah, rah. That's just based on actual like numbers rather than any experience of any of this stuff. So I apologise now if I come across as salty or get any of this wrong. But yeah, any tweaks, nerfs, whatever you want to call them, towards hipfire are welcome in my eyes. I think it's been far too easy for far too long to get to be effective at hipfire, specifically on console, as I've played most of my life on Division. So,
nice, that's cool, man. I just guess we have to just see how it kind of plays out over the next couple of weeks, because I mean they adjusted hipfire before. It didn't really work, and then they removed it altogether at one point. So
yeah, they've had quite a few stabs at it, haven't they? Yeah.
But the animation for I will say the animation for it as well is completely different as well, isn't it, Rob? Or is it just me? It looked different. I don't know if it was just the fact we're playing on PC or what, but it looks like there's a lot more going on than normally in hipfire.
It's because they've removed the reticule, haven't they?
Is it something to do with the movement that they keep tweaking as well? That's obviously going to affect hipfire as well, isn't it? It's the actual agent movement rather than the weapon movement, isn't it? I think
it's gonna be everything culminated together, which is I'm hoping going to do a good job. Which is going to basically make or break skirmish, depending on how the weapon balance is and how things like this, the actual PvP mechanics themselves work. So
yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that.
And if
you were quite happy with it when you were.
I think I hope they get the balance right. I hope the hipfire thing, like the whole staggering thing that you get while firing a fast fire weapon, hopefully it's not as bad. Like they scale it down to like not. Oh no, because that means everyone will just use shotguns. Don't listen to me. Shush. Shut up.
Well, hopefully we won't see the SAS-G back anytime soon.
Yeah.
Luke, anything else before we leave that topic?
No, I was trying to think of a way of comparing PvP in the Division to PvP in Destiny 2, but I don't want to get Rob started on Destiny 2. So
I was going to say, what?
Yeah,
You're
I know.
able to compare? Oh, no.
no,
What has happened?
I probably won't be able to compare. I was just thinking that hipfire doesn't really seem to be that prominent in Destiny 2, but I'm really not the person to talk to about Destiny 2, so I'll shut up now before I make myself sound like too much of an idiot.
I think it's because in Destiny, it just, to me personally, it doesn't make a difference whether you're aiming down the sight or hip firing. So
Definitely makes a difference.
I know it makes a difference, but it doesn't feel like it makes as much of a difference in comparison to the Division, and I can't explain why. But that's to me.
I mean, hipfire used to be a big thing in D1 and Destiny 1 with a certain gun, but other than that, yeah, it's not really a thing.
Well, hopefully they get it in a good place for 1.8. I would say this is probably a topic of debate in the community this week. We're just going to have a very quick conversation about the optimization station and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Does any one of you guys want to kick this off? So I'll just kind of preface this. Anyone that's on socials, or I keep seeing like a load of videos out there that basically optimization is OP. You know, it doesn't take that much div tech. You can go farm a load of div tech, or I've got a load of div tech saved up already, you know, ready for this update, and I'm good to go. I'm not going to have anything to do in 1.8. So, yeah, we need to increase the amount of div tech. And then you get the other side of the story, which is solo players that are like, hold on a minute. I haven't got any div tech. And I'm only going to be playing like 2 days a week. So, my question to you guys then, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Now, Rob, I know you've played it on PTS this week.
Yeah. My initial thoughts was it's probably going to be a bad thing. But then, because eventually everyone's going to be, like, I don't know, fully maximized, and there's going to be no carrot on the stick anymore. But then I had a go on it, and it takes a long time to perfect something. Like, you have to roll it and roll it and roll it. And I think it was like 1,500 div tech when I first booted into the PTS. I managed to optimize 1 gun and 2 bits of gear set before I ran out of div tech. So that's roughly 500 each. And even now, I don't know what the cap is. Is it like 4,000?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're at cap, you are not going to be able to maximize everything in your inventory straight away. So that's good.
When you say, when you say inventory, do you mean as in a gear set that you have in your loadout ready to go, or do you mean like
I mean everything?
Right. Okay.
But yeah, you wouldn't even better do one set. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's good because obviously, like, yeah, we're gonna be able to do maybe a couple of pieces of one set if you've got max div tech, but then you still have to farm for every other single set in the game that you've got, and then you're going to get new pieces and things like that. I know the new pieces aren't going to matter so much anymore, but you get my point when you get like new gear and stuff.
Yeah.
Luke, your thoughts on this, dude?
Do I have to?
Yeah, you can go for it. It doesn't matter, dude.
No, I'm gonna hold off till I've tried it. I still think it's a bad idea. But listening to Rob and talking to Rob off podcast, it doesn't sound like as bad an idea as I originally thought. I've watched Marcos. No, I haven't. I've watched, I think it was Skillup's video. I've definitely watched Lightbutter's video. The two contradict each other, which, you know, left me sat in the middle still as to which one I chose to side with. I think I still side with Lightbutter, but I haven't. Like I say, I haven't tried it, so I'm going to hold off a little bit. I will say this, though. Anything that removes or reduces the grind on a looter shooter such as this, or Destiny 2, whichever, in my eyes, can only be a bad thing. Whether it's a really bad thing or just a slightly bad thing, I will determine later, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree with that statement, because one thing we are definitely seeing in the Destiny community, yes, there are things to do in the Destiny at the minute, like go do your milestones or go do your challenges for the day, but there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't know what to do now because I've done everything. And I really don't want that to be the case. Within like 2 weeks, people have got everything, got all their gear sets to max. I want people to have fun and enjoy it, and especially like solo to like full team hardcore players, but it's a difficult trying to get that balance.
I think what we need to remember is that as far as what has been officially announced, 1.8 is the last update for the division. I know they've said there will be other updates afterwards, but in terms of actual content drops, this is the last one that we officially know about. This is the one that they decided to put the optimization station in, which is whatever they do to it is going to reduce the grind. There's no two ways about it. Putting something like the optimization station in will reduce the grind. People are going to get bored if they haven't already. So they need to be very careful as to how quickly you can optimize stuff.
Just want to add, the way they're rolling out the gear sets might stop this a little bit, because, I mean, out of the three of us, I'm the only one that got all three gear sets.
Correct.
In the first global event. So not everyone's going to get all the gear sets straight away.
No, you're absolutely right. That is a good.
So there is still going to be grind there, but
yeah.
It just means when you do get a piece of gear, it'll be perfect.
I think the problem with that is that you're going to have a lot of people that are either going to get annoyed at the game, because hardcore players, obviously you have people, we have to wait for each set to come out through global events, which is awesome, and you have to farm them and things like that. But you also have like casual players that are going to be like, oh, well, I didn't have a chance to play the global event. I'm still farming classifieds, but I want to run PvP. I suppose PvP doesn't matter, but maybe they want to go run the Dark Zone. But then I'm trying to think, how many casuals do I know that are going to want to run the Dark Zone? But people will say that because it's their right. Do you know what I mean? And they'll be coming up against people that effectively have optimized gear. They could have max gear, and they'd be like, there's no way of fighting them back, because either the cost is too much or they don't have the gear set yet. And that, I really don't want it to be in a position where it's not just hardcore players that are playing the game anymore. I want everybody to be able to play it and for it to be fun for all, but it's definitely difficult trying to find that balance, if that makes sense.
I see where you're going, because if hardcore players are going to have all the div tech and all the gear sets, and then get even more gear sets and even more div tech,
be even more powerful.
Yeah, the risk is that the casual players get even more left behind, even though this idea kind of smacks that it's them they're trying to help out, but
going to increase the skill gap even more.
Potentially, yeah. Obviously, until such given time in the future that the casual players catch up, because inevitably they will do, because we'll get to the stage where we will run out of classifieds to farm, etc., etc., etc. So everybody will have everything. But yeah, that was a good counter argument, actually, Rob. I forgot about the classifieds being so restricted at the moment. Yeah,
but then they are introducing more ways of getting them, aren't they? So
yeah, but I think it's just the fact that 1.8 is meant to be the be all end all of year 2 content and bring the player base. I wouldn't say it's there to bring the player base back, but we know it's going to bring players back in. Yeah. I just don't want to see the drop off, because people are like, oh, what I've got to grind. I haven't got time to do that. The game's OP. I can't put that amount of time in to get as good as the hardcore players. Like yeah. I can only say it so many times. It's balanced at the end of the day.
I forget. Did they announce with the rewards for Skirmish, obviously going up to Last Stand rank or PvP rank, whatever they're going to call it, up to 99? Are you getting classified caches for that as well?
Yeah, after level 40.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea, because that's normalised, isn't it? So everybody will be the same level no matter what the fuck you're wearing. So, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think we'll leave this week's IFM. We have got one, but I think we'll save it for next week. And there's no questions. So, Robert, where can listeners find us?
You can find us at SITREP Radio on Twitter and on Facebook. Tweet us with the hashtag TeamSitRep, as we're all affiliated with that hashtag. If you have any questions or feedback for the show, send us to the email address sitrepradiopod@gmail.com. Luke?
You can find SITREP Radio on any of the following platforms: iTunes, Apple Podcasts for iOS, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Overcast for iOS, Stitcher, Player.fm, Pocket Casts, RSS feeds, Podbeans, and please rate, review, and subscribe while you're there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Make sure to check out Mash Those Buttons over on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and go check out some of the other awesome podcasts that are a part of the Mash Those Buttons family.
And don't forget to check out the YouTubes. I apologize for last week's video, as when I uploaded it, I made a bit of a boo-boo. I think Mike corrected it, but yeah, I won't make the same mistake this week.
No, that's cool. Thank you very much for putting that up every week, Rob. It takes you a lot of time to do that, so thank you for doing that. And a reminder, you can find us either at Mash Those Buttons or Team SITREP Discord. Just contact us on any of the social media locations as mentioned above, and if you want to just come give us some feedback or chat with us, you're more than welcome in any of those places, or just want to chat some Division or any other games. That'd be cool. Thanks for listening, agents, and we will catch you in hopefully PTS Phase 2. Bye bye.
Bye bye.